A pacifist at heart and an inventor by nature, Swedish chemist Alfred Nobel invented dynamite. However, the invention that he thought would end all wars was seen by many others as an extremely deadly product. In 1888, when Alfred's brother Ludwig died, a French newspaper mistakenly ran an obituary for Alfred, which called him the Merchant of Death. Not wanting to go down in history with such a horrible epitaph, Nobel created a will that soon shocked his relatives and established the now famous Nobel Prizes. On October 21, 1833, a baby boy was born to Alfred Nobel and Emanuel Nobel in Stockholm, Sweden. And this baby boy was the one who became a famous scientist, inventor, businessman, and founder of the Nobel Prizes. He was Alfred Nobel. Alfred's father, Emanuel Nobel, was an engineer and inventor too. He built bridges and buildings and experimented with different ways of blasting rocks. The same year that Alfred was born, his father's business suffered losses and had to be closed. In 1837, Emanuel Nobel decided to try his luck again and left for Finland and Russia. Alfred's mother was left in Stockholm to take care of the family. At this time, Alfred had two elder brothers, Robert, born in 1829, and Ludwig, born in 1831. In a few years, Emanuel Nobel's business in St. Petersburg, Russia, started doing well. He was running a mechanical workshop that provided equipment for the Russian army. Emanuel also made the Russian Tsar and his generals believe that sea mines could be used to stop enemy ships from entering and attacking St. Petersburg. The mines stopped the British Royal Navy from moving into firing range of St. Petersburg during the Crimean War in 1853 to 1856. With his success in Russia, Emanuel decided to move his family to St. Petersburg in 1842. By 1843, another boy was born into the family, Emil. The four Nobel brothers were given first-class education with the help of private tutors. Their lessons included natural sciences, languages, and literature. At the age of 17, Alfred could speak and write Swedish, Russian, French, English, and German. Alfred was greatly interested in literature, chemistry, and physics. But father wanted his sons to follow in his footsteps and was not pleased with Alfred's interest in poetry. He decided to send the young man abroad to study and become a chemical engineer. At the age of 17, Alfred Nobel set off on a trip through Europe. His primary destination was Paris. Probably the reason for the journey was that Emmanuel Nobel hoped that Alfred might deepen his knowledge of chemistry and science while in Paris. In the long term, this could be of importance for the family's industrial pursuits. In Paris, Alfred met one of the great chemists of the day, Théophile Jules Pelloz. It was probably Alfred's teacher, Zinin, who put him in touch with Pelloz and arranged for Alfred to spend time with him. There he also met a young Italian chemist, Ascanio Sobrero. 3 years earlier, Sobrero had invented nitroglycerine, a highly explosive liquid which was considered too dangerous to be of practical use. In due course of time, Alfred became very interested in nitroglycerine and how it could be used in construction work. When he returned to Russia after his studies, he worked together with his father to develop nitroglycerine as a commercially and technically useful explosive. The Nobel family returned to Sweden in 1863, and now Alfred concentrated on developing nitroglycerine as an explosive. During one of the experiments with nitroglycerine, on September 3, 1864, Alfred's younger brother, Emil, and 4 others working in and around the laboratory were killed instantly. And this accident resulted in the government banning these experiments within the Stockholm city limits. Alfred did not give up and moved his experiments to a barge, a flat-bottom boat on Lake Malaren. In 1864, Alfred Nobel was able to start mass production of nitroglycerine and continued experimenting with different additives to make the production much safer. Alfred found through his experiments that mixing nitroglycerine with the fine sand of a particular type would turn the liquid into paste, which could be shaped into rods. These rods could then be inserted into drilling holes. The invention was made in 1866. Alfred got a patent or legal right of ownership on this material the next year. He named it dynamite. He also invented a detonator or blasting cap which could be set off by lighting a fuse. These inventions were made at a time when the diamond drilling crown and pneumatic drill were being commonly used. Together, these inventions helped reduce the cost of construction work, like drilling tunnels, blasting rocks, building bridges, and many other related activities. Dynamite and detonating caps were much in demand in the construction industry. Because of this, Alfred was able to put up factories in 90 different places. He lived in Paris, but often traveled to his factories in more than 20 countries. He was once described as Europe's richest vagabond. Alfred Nobel also experimented in making synthetic rubber and leather and artificial silk. Alfred had no family of his own. One day he announced in the newspapers for a secretary. An Austrian lady, Bertha Kinski, got the job. After working for a short time, she moved back to Austria to marry Count Arthur von Suttner. Alfred and Bertha von Suttner remained friends and exchanged letters through the years. She later became very active in the peace movement. Bertha von Suttner wrote the famous book, Lay Down Your Arms. When Alfred Nobel later wrote his will to establish the Nobel Prizes, he included a prize for persons or organizations who promoted peace. Alfred died in San Remo, Italy, on December 10, 1896. In his last will and testament, he wrote that much of his fortune was to be used to give prizes to those who have done their best for humanity in the field of physics, chemistry, physiology or medicine, literature, and peace. On the 5th anniversary of Alfred Nobel's death, December 10, 1901, the first set of Nobel Prizes was awarded.